Well. So, this is what Mattel has been cooking in the oven. I must say, I'm impressed. Yes, welcome back. Today we are looking at the new, in case you don't believe me, believe the package, new Mattel DC Core Batman vs. Clayface. Might as well get the box out of the way so we get some nice little artwork here. It had a nice displayable presentation. It was really annoying to cut these guys out of here though, but you got some nice artwork there of Gotham City and whatnot. You get some little bit of a read up there of what this is. Here's the barcode if that helps anyone. I ordered this off of the Nerdzoic toy store for what that's worth, so yeah, go ahead and check that out. This is in stock and all of that. So there is a little read up on that. There is that. There's that. There's that. And then, of course, here is the bottom with more stuff. And there's another barcode in case. Why are there two of them? I don't know why there are two of them, but regardless, so there's that. Now, let's get into this proper. So, you might be wondering, just out of curiosity, before we do like a height measurement, how did these stack up? Well, here is a DC Multiverse figure made by Mattel, and as you can see, they're pretty similar in scale, which is good because I ordered some of these. But yeah, so they're pretty good in scale with each other. So if you have older Mattel figures, I say that they work well. Now, how do they compare with McFarlane? They're definitely out of scale. Definitely out of scale with each other, but that's okay. Of course, they'll be out of scale with Marvel Select. As far as how tall Batman is, he is to the top of the bat ears. Let's say he's just under 7 inches. And that will translate to, let's say, just under 18 centimeters. Then we'll look at Basil Karlo or Matt Hagen, whichever Clayface this is supposed to be. Not really sure. But yeah, he stands just over 8 inches tall. And that will translate to, let's say, about 20.5 centimeters tall. So, let's take a look at the Caped Crusader first. So, yeah, this is definitely an interesting design. This is the Rebirth outfit with the black symbol with the yellow outline. And, yeah, he's got some nice black detailing there, but the main color on his suit is actually white. It's not gray like I assumed it would be. It's actually white, and so that looks cool. I like the details there with the armor and the panel work and all of that. And yeah, so that looks good. The belt looks good. I like the detail with the belt buckle and all the pouches. And yes, he does have these 2 pegs on the bottom for accessories. He doesn't come with any particular accessories to put onto there, but I'm sure that if you have some, they can fit on there. You do have some detail here with the legs. You get some nice like panel work on the sides there. I don't know how well that is coming across on camera, but yeah, he's got some nice texturing there. Got some line work there. The boots look good. They're nice and sculpted and all of that. Same thing with the gauntlets and the gloves. These aren't sharp, don't worry, you don't have to worry about poking yourself and anything like that. The face sculpt, it looks good. I mean, it's definitely Batman. There's no question about that. It looks good. I like the white eyes there. And then, yeah, kind of like a more tanned complexion, I guess, for the face underneath, which is cool. And then we do have the cape as well, which I thought that this was going to be like a paper texture. It's not. It's actually more of like a cloth texture. So kind of like what McFarlane does with their soft goods capes. It's kind of a similar thing to this. It's just that there's a peg hole in there, which he doesn't have anything to fit into that, but I'm sure if you had an accessory that could fit into there, that would work. And yeah, I guess we might as well look at the articulation. So the head can look up about that far. He can look down really far. Like, look at that. That's some really good range there. He can, of course, pivot, rotate all the way around, all of that stuff. The arms can go up about that far. It's pretty good. They can rotate all the way around. You don't get a bicep cut, but you do have a single jointed elbow, which gives you over 90 degrees, which is pretty good. You do get a swivel there, and you get a swivel and a hinge for the wrist. For the torso, there is nothing there other than a twist, okay? So there's no real ab crunch or anything like that. It just kind of rotates. The belt can move around a little bit. The legs can go out, really decent range. They can go forward and they can go back. They can go back just a little bit. They can go forward a pretty decent amount. You do get a thigh cut, so there you go. You do get that. You get a double jointed knee, which it looks good. The proportioning is a little off, like the lower leg is a bit long, but the range is good. You do get a little bit of a boot swivel, which is good to know. So he does have a boot swivel. And then for the ankle, there is nothing. There's no ankle articulation. Kind of figured there would be, but you know what? That's all right. So there we go. There is the Batman. So there we go. I am a little impressed, a little underwhelmed, especially with the ankles, but I'd say overall it's pretty solid. So there we go. There's Batman. Now let's take a look at Clayface. And yeah, this is a big figure. I like the action figures that have some size to them, and this is definitely one of them. Like, this guy will tower over Batman. As far as how tall he is compared to a McFarlane figure, he's only like a little bit taller. So I guess it could still work. It's just that this is a simpler art style and all of that. So yeah, and I don't have the McFarlane Clayface to use for a comparison. So yeah, we're not going to be comparing those, but we do have this one to look at, and yeah, he's got some nice detail there. I like the face there with all of the like teeth details and all of that, and then we have the eyes. He's got some yellow eyes there. I like that. I like all of the textures of like all the mud and layers and all of that. Like, it looks like he's just a blob of stuff that like kind of has a humanoid form, which is kind of the point of the character. He's got some nice musculature here. Some like rocky textures going into this hammer, which the hammer itself looks good, and yes, it can spin, so that's pretty cool. For this side, you do get some more of the textures, and then you also get some nice claws here. He's got a 3-fingered hand with like these spikes on there, so that looks pretty cool. For the back, there's not really a whole lot, but it does have a nice silhouette. Like, you can tell just looking at the back of this figure who this is supposed to be. Then flipping around back to the front, you do get some nice detail here. It is a different type of plastic and a different finish for the rest of the leg compared to the foot, which does look a little weird, but I'm not too bothered by it. But just be aware of that. But yeah, it looks good. You get some nice rock texture and all of that. And then there's also another thing worth mentioning, and that is that he has an alternate face. Which, yeah, it looks it looks really fun there. He's got the more pronounced eyes and then a more defined mouth with some red paint on the inside there. And his teeth are more pronounced and more mismatched and stuff like that. And yeah, we might as well talk about the articulation. So first off, for the main head, it can just kind of like rotate and all of that. It does have a little bit of pivoting, but yeah, it mainly just turns around and that kind of thing. And then this kind of counts as an articulation point, but to access the alternate head, all you have to do is push this back, and then that's it. So I'm not the biggest fan of this being visible. I thought that would be hidden, but regardless, it does still work. And when he does have this face open, you can technically move the mouth a little bit. So there we go. He can talk to Batman and all of that. So that's really cool. I like that. As far as the arms go, they can, of course, go all the way around, but they can also go out about that far. Then you don't get a bicep cut. You do have a single-jointed elbow, which gives you about 90 degrees. You get a... actually, no, you don't. You don't get a pivot there. Just kind of wiggles around a little bit because of the sculpt. But yeah, you do get a swivel for this hand, and then on this side there isn't any articulation. The only thing that this does is you can bring it up. I mean, yes, there is rotation with the hammer, but what you can do is you can bring it all the way up like this, and then when you let it go, it just drops down. So that's kind of like an articulation point as well as a play feature. So that is definitely fun to have if you want to squash something. You can definitely do that. For the legs, they can go out about that far, so I think that's pretty good range. They can go forward pretty decent amount. They can go back a little bit as well. This guy's got more range going with his legs going back than Batman does, which is kind of fun. You don't really get much of a thigh swivel, and yeah, the only other articulation point is in the ankle, so the part that Batman was lacking, Clayface has. So this guy, in some respects, is more flexible than Batman, for what that's worth. You do also get a really good ankle rocker, so there you go. If you want him to be like showing off his shoes, of like, hey, look at my shoes, he can definitely do that. So yeah, this is cool. I definitely surprising in some respects. Like I said, he's got some different articulation points than Batman does, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, there's that. And there is one last thing to talk about, and that is this. So there is a weapon here, which it's just a black molded thing. It's got some pretty simplistic but also decent enough detail there, and then does have a bat symbol on there, although it kind of looks like a Punisher logo. Like if Punisher designed a Batman logo, it'd probably look like that. And it does have some articulation to where you can turn this around, and then there is also another point there, so it can kind of move around a little bit, but not by much. And what you can do is you can take the on the inside there's a little peg there, and you can plug it into Batman's hand, and so you can have him armed with this gun, because of course Batman uses tons of guns. So yeah, there you go, he has that. And then what you can do is you get 3 of these missiles here. They're in a nice yellow color, and there's not really a whole lot of detail going on, but what you can do is you can slide one into the cannon there, and then what you do to activate it is you press this button here. So what you can do, let's see how powerful this is, if it can knock Clayface over. So what you can do is you can just arm it, and then once you're ready, you can just fire. And that didn't really work because he leaned into it. Let's try that again. So just have it go. And yeah, so you kind of get the idea. I'm sure it's definitely strong enough to knock over a regular figure. So if we just have Batman, and yeah, you get the idea. It works better to have this on a hard surface, not a carpet. But regardless, that's about all that we have with this. So. Now for the real question of, is this a good decision to have Mattel making this stuff? I am going to leave that up to you to decide. I'm a fan, personally. I think this is fun. It's like a scaled up version of what Spin Master did a few years back, and so I'm here for it. But I totally understand if you're like a more of a collector focused person and like, I can't stand this stuff. I totally get it. But yeah, so for what I would say, if you're interested in picking this up, I'd say you have to know what this is, and you have to be okay with that. And if that's the case, if you're like, hey, this is a cool toy, and it's got like some like collector-friendly stuff with it, then sure, go for it. If you are strictly looking at what McFarlane did, and you're like, I only want that, I'd say skip this. But yeah, it's definitely worth, at the very least, you know, checking it out. And yeah, so if you found this important or informative or whatever it might be, you can definitely leave a like. You can let me know in the comments what you think, if you like this, if you don't like this. If you want to see more content like this, you can subscribe. You can stay tuned for other stuff, because yes, I plan on doing at least a little more with this new Mattel stuff. But other than all of that, I do hope you enjoyed. I hope I'll see you all later. Goodbye.